Ooh, more inbox stuff. Alright. Krogan colony heist. From Drac. Kid, need to talk to you about the Krogan colony. Something's up. I'll be in the galley. Oh, stolen Nexus goods from Anonymous. Pathfinder writer, I'm the one who was storing supplies around the Nexus for delivery to Kadara. They were intended for hardworking and downtrodden exiles just trying to survive. The initiative cast them out with almost no regard for their future. Whole families, many of whom were only barely implicated in the revolts, or left because they couldn't bear to separate from loved ones. I was able to make several deliveries before you took it upon yourself to shut down the pipeline, enough to buy them some time and hopefully get them back on their feet. I have left my post on Nexus and joined these disenfranchised people. I want you to know that this was done out of concern and caring, not avarice or greed. Please don't take it out on the people of Kadara. Good luck to you. That was a surprisingly non-spiteful message, all things considered, about what happened. So we're trying to investigate the stolen shuttle's trail for the sake of the Contagion situation. But if Drac is actively trying to contact me, I think we can have a quick conversation while we are presumably... We'll just pretend that I'm currently in the process of driving to where I need to go. I guess he's just in the normal crew area, right? That's the bathroom. That's the galley.
You wanted to talk?
Ryder, I need your help with something.
I get a feeling this is something big.
Yeah, it is. One of our botanists' heart called up in a panic. A colony transport has been stolen.
It's a transport. Can't you just replace it?
It's not the transport. It's what's on it. Our seed vault. One of a kind. Without that vault, things get complicated. Krogan children need the nutrients in those plants to survive. Even one clutch of babies hatch before we get the stuff synthesized. The effects would be permanent.
So what do you need from me?
I'm gonna find those thieves and get the vault back. Be nice to have you along.
Aren't the transports protected by passcodes? And how do you steal anything from a Krogan?
First thing Hark checked. Looks like some old authorization codes weren't erased. He was working in the transport and stepped out for 2 seconds. The thieves walked right in and flew off.
Of course I'm in. Whatever you need.
I knew I could count on you. Hark's waiting for us at the colony on Eladon. He's tracking down the transport beacon. He'll have the location ready for us on arrival.
Good. We'll find the transport track. Don't worry.
I'll hold you to that, Ryder. Hey. Thanks. I owe you one.
Don't be silly. That's what friends are for.
Looks like we're quickly building up the number of tasks that we can take care of once we get to Eladon, which we haven't visited yet. It's on the to-do list. Dear Lord, we are the supreme chosen one in this game. Just the sheer number of elements of society that are almost single-handedly being saved by Ryder is staggering. Whoa. You usually aren't responsible for so many things, all the way down to like, oh yeah, no idea, it's just the entire food supply for the Krogan in order for the children to survive. We haven't even visited that place yet. Alright, Contagion. We need to deal with this issue before it gets worse. Last week on Sliders. I always alternate between thinking of Sliders and Doctor Who when we do this jump.
Tekunis. Why does that sound familiar?
They named it after the Tekunis expedition, the first Solarians to reach the Citadel. It's a big name to live up to.
It's a
Anomaly detected.
It's a big name to live up to, so he gave it to the place that seems to have almost nothing important in it.
Deploying probe. Sam sent me the data on that shuttle. I've set up our scanners to track it. Just say the word.
There it is. Alright, let's get our scanning done real quick, though. So I don't think any of our habitats are in the system. I wonder why they gave it such an important name, then. That one has nothing on it. Nothing at all.
Anomaly on sensors.
I still can't help but find it weird that the we can clearly see pieces of the ship on the top of the screen at all times. So it's weird that that part of the ship follows us when we do the zoom out screen where we shoot out to the galaxy view each time, because then it then goes back to the planet and then shows us transition from it. So it's like, why is that in the interface? Because conceptually, the top of the screen just doesn't make sense. Like, it's zooming out to the galaxy view, then zooming back to the planet, then zooming from planet to planet, then back to the galaxy view, then back to the planet, then back to the other planet. And I'm like, what? I can immediately accept this place as just being as just being a like a hologram or representation of a galaxy, and we're using it as a menu. But once it insists on this weird 3D thing on the top of the screen that's supposed to frame it as being a physical object we're literally traveling in from this perspective, it gets really weird.
Probes launched. Satellite detected.
And it's weird because it's so easy to, it would be so easy to not include the 3D thing on the top of the screen. In fact, that'd be easier than having it. So it's like it's there for immersion, to add a thing that makes it feel like you're really in a ship, but that actually does the opposite of immersion, and that it mostly just makes it seem like nothing on the screen makes sense during the stuff. Weird. So I'm noticing that in these you might call them optional solar systems, I guess, because they only appear on your map when you pick up a certain quest. I'm noticing that they're much more likely to have majority empty planets.
Tracking a huge mineral deposit.
There we go. Because during the normal solar systems that you have access to from the beginning of the game, those are actually, like, I think majority of planets have something on them, be it experience or resources. These ones tend to be mostly empty. Alright, now for the Contagion quest.
This radiation trail matches the shuttle we're tracking.
Tracking Nexus shuttle stolen by Ruth Becker. Signature consists consistent with expected readings based on engineer's account of damaged shuttle, logging data to facilitate tracking.
Anomaly on sensors. Probe away. Getting a scan.
Oh, it's a comet. Comet Tamako's arrow. There's a platinum deposit. This orbit, the orbit of the star Grazer has persisted despite the Scourge and other hazards. Likely it will withstand even a significant attempt to mine its core elements. So from the radiation trailer, we're then going to a different system from there. Oh, it points back to Aladdin. That's interesting. I guess we have multiple things pointing to Aladdin now. Do I have something to do over there? We probably have a number of quests pointing everywhere. I think I'm gonna go to Aladdin, though. Now that so many things are pointing that way. Speaking of the Doctor Who screen.
Careful. Word is there's pirates all over this region.
You'd think they'd run out of people to steal from.
You would think they'd run out of people to steal from.
Anomaly on sensors.
There's just not that many people in this area, right? Doesn't each arc have 10,000 people? How many people are on the Nexus to begin with? Fuzzy on the numbers, but generally, like, this is like... We're not even, like, a large city in people count, are we? Unless I'm forgetting numbers. Really is the Wild West, all the way down to the lack of aspirations for pirates.
Probes launched. Tracking a huge mineral deposit.
Have I killed 1,000 people yet? I wonder. In this game of relatively low populations, have I killed 1,000 people? Although, they wouldn't necessarily be 1,000 people from the initiative. But even then, I kind of wonder if I've killed a significant percentage of the initiative population yet. I wonder. We definitely had at least one planet where the enemies were almost purely initiative people. At least lacking in Ket. I'm known as like this chosen one character that can solve all problems, but you think that I'd be known as some kind of horrible deathbringer by now. I've killed a lot of people's family members and friends that just aren't on our side, basically.
Probes launched. Getting a scan.
Ooh. I wonder how long it would take, because, see, Kadara has... There's the Contagion. I was just thinking, Kadara has respawning enemies, right? And those ones are initiative members, because they're the pirates that we brought here. I wonder if eventually you can have, like, a Dead Rising situation. In Dead Rising, there's an achievement for killing 53,000 something people, which is the population of the town that the game is based on, and it's supposed to be a contradiction because, of course, the entire zombie population is the people from that town, so if you kill all of them, then there shouldn't be zombies left. There, of course, are zombies left. You can't run out of zombies in that game, but that's the point where you would have run out of zombies if it was a real-life scenario. I wonder if you can eventually kill so many people on Kadara alone that you would have surpassed the population of all of the initiative in the first place and who they brought. Or Milky Way. Signature match for Nexus Shuttle stolen by Ruth Becker. Hull integrity degrading. Things are not going well for her.
Anomaly on sensors.
They're not going to take the easy way out, are they, and have her die
Probes launched. Tracking a huge
without
mineral
anything
deposit.
happen? You went a long trek to get out here. This is like the other side of the cluster from us. Oh, there's an asteroid. Oh. This is just what I would have found as my anomaly if Ruth Becker wasn't currently in the system. Oh, she didn't go to Aladdin. She went to Anasa. I guess we're not going to Aladdin this episode. Dun 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 dun.
Radio emissions from the black hole are incredible out here. The song of the dark side of creation.
Alright, back to poking around.
Anomaly on sensors.
Anomaly on sensors. The question is she going to be defeated here? It said the whole integrity was degrading, so maybe the ship will finally be compromised enough to be caught here?
Probe away. Getting a scan.
Ooh, level 40. That's a hell of a milestone, actually. Neat. 6 more skill points to weave through. Figure out what to do with it. I think I'm already behind 2 levels on actually spending my levels, too.
Anomaly on sensors.
Levels have been coming surprisingly frequently lately. I should go reinvest into more shotgun points and whatnot. They made a lot of worlds here. So I read that Kotaku article where they interview anonymously people that worked on the game. It's interesting to know that this game was originally supposed to be No Man's Sky, basically, with like procedurally generated worlds and space travel. They apparently just couldn't figure out how to make the actual like flying around in space part fun. And so this expanded galaxy map is kind of a remnant of that, because they eventually just had this big thing and they couldn't make worlds for it because the procedural generation didn't work out. They were originally plotting on like infinite worlds, then they cut it down to like making, I think it was supposed to be 15 worlds that were semi-handcrafted and semi-procedurally generated, and then they ultimately just went down to making like 6 worlds total, and that was their final total. It was a hell of a overall drop in scope.
Probes launched.
I'm just hoping they learn from their mistakes, and in the future, the next game, instead of having a gargantuan super scope, they just start with a small scope and make that small scope good, instead of trying to make it super huge, then finding out they can't, because they always do that. Every single time BioWare plans a massively ambitious project, it never works out, and then they're like, well, we had to compromise on all of our ideas and make something way smaller. Like, just plan on that, because that's what happens every time.
With previous scans. This is our shuttle.
Even the good games that, like even the best games BioWare made are often an attempt at making something super ambitious, and then they had to give up on most of their ideas and make something completely different. Mass Effect 1 was that, actually. Signature match for Nexus shuttle, stolen by Ruth Becker. Shuttle systems were failing, hull integrity near critical. But she's still cruising around.
Anomaly on sensors. Deploying probe. Anomaly found.
Starship Wreckage, is that theirs or a different one? It appears to be the remains of a Cat scout or dropship. Alright. Enough functional parts remain to suggest that it was not destroyed by Nexus exiles. Perhaps Rokar were responsible? Do Rokar not scavenge? Really, they need their own resources too. They're an underground fighting force. This map got really busy at some point, didn't it? So Contagion's... Whoa! So Contagion quest started here, then went like... here or here, then here, then here, then here. It was near critical here and about to be destroyed, but now it's there. Huh. I wonder if that's reasonable for that kind of ship to do, or if they're just being, or if this is just the exploration quest of this act. Because every act of this game seems to have a quest that says, scan all of, go visit all these solar systems that don't have anything else in them.
With all this travel, we're building up a bigger picture of the Scourge. I wonder if it's just local to Helios, or if all Andromeda's like this.
So I wouldn't be too surprised if that's what this is, more or less, is that just this act's exploration quest. Hopefully it pays off with something interesting happening. Because the last time we did a quest like this...
Detected.
Actually, the other quest we did that was like this is still in progress.
Detected.
This appears to be a Nexus satellite stolen and reprogrammed by the Collective. It is actively monitoring the planet Suriko. The last quest we did like this is actually on hold. That was the one about the baby. There was like a pregnant woman, and we were chasing them around via combuis that were all in otherwise unimportant solar systems. Just mostly an excuse to sort of send you to each one. And I figure I might as well scan while we arrive. So we'll see if that one gets it. Maybe they'll both get interesting, I guess, because that one is on hold, so hopefully something cool will happen. I assume it's because that mission has to end in Aladdin, so we have to actually do the quest to make that town exist so the story can finish. The wreck of a Rokar vessel drifts around Suriko. It appears to have been abandoned. I think my main criticism of that kind of quest is just that if it's going to be on hold the moment I get to the end of it, why... It seems like maybe they should have just introduced the quest once it was ready to be finished. Because we didn't really get very far. They're like, there's a baby and they're gone. Go get them. And then you go over to get them and you're like, on hold, come back later. And I'm like, what? Why'd you tell me? Why not just tell me about this quest once the requirement for finishing it is done, and then you can just go do the whole quest? It'd be one thing if it was like a really big, dramatic, multi-part, like, voyage with crazy stuff going on along the way, but nothing's actually happened yet. I've just been introduced to the idea and then told I can't do it. So it's it was like a false start that probably, for pacing's sake, probably is better served by waiting for later.
Probes launched. Anomaly found.
Anomaly found? So could this be the final resting place of Becker? Was that her name?
Pathfinder.
Yeah.
Scans confirm the damaged shuttle trail leads to a landing site on Kadara's surface.
Hull integrity critical. Shuttle destruction imminent at this point. I'm sorry, she landed on Kadara? Dude.
Anomaly on sensors.
She went on a trek.
Deploying probe.
Well, at least I can say that we probably get to find her if she's on Kadara. I suppose there's that. And it'll give me the chance to double check if anything else has been developed on Kadara.
We're here, Ryder. Nav point where the three Sabers supposedly attacked a supply ship.
I'm getting a unique radiation signature from the scans. I think their drive's leaking ESO.
Does it lead anywhere?
I'm only getting a general vector. If we scan the other sites, we could narrow it down.
A small scouting ship sent to investigate a portion of the Scourge. It was lost shortly after leaving the Nexus. It was assumed that contact with the Scourge brought her down. Analysis of the wreckage might make it abundantly clear that the ship was attacked. Not might make it. It does make it. Yes. Where's Kadara from here? Okay, it's nearby at least. Still that... This, destroyed ship, though, went like... That's a hell of a lot of jumps for a critical ship. That was, like, critical, like, several jumps ago. These are some German-engineered, initiative ships that don't quit, apparently. Alright, let's get down on Kadara, then. Let's see, do I have anything else in progress on Kadara? Don't remember. I'll double-check my log while we're there. Let's get down there. Turns out we do have another thing showing up on Kadara, which is that PB's theft that happened, where somebody broke onto the ship and took Puck, has us going to the bar. No one really seemed to be that concerned about the fact that somebody just casually broke into the Pathfinder ship and took something without getting caught, even though, like, the Pathfinder's apparently the super savior of the entire galaxy and the Deathbringer and whatnot.
So that one was 190 proof.
You are my new best friend. Ah, Ryder. I'd like to introduce you to my new best friend. What's your name again?
Samrick.
Right. Samrick here has been so sympathetic about Pock being stolen. He used to run with our pal Kalinda, and he knows where her crews congregate. Safe houses, rallying points, etc.
Well, that makes Samrick a truly important person.
He's having some trouble understanding that.
Look, I appreciate the drinks and the flattery and all, but Kalinda doesn't take kindly to people discussing her business interests. She busted me up pretty bad when she kicked me out of her outfit. I don't really want to repeat.
Yeah, well, I'm not too fond of you stealing my hair.
You're sitting in an open bar on Kadara Port with us. Kalinda will know, and she'll assume the worst.
Yeah, and she probably won't be satisfied the first 30 or 40 times you scream your innocence. So you might as well tell us what we want to know.
At least that way you get another free drink.
Well, shit, guess I can't argue with that. And I am still thirsty.
Thanks, Ryder. I think he'll cooperate now. I'll know where to look for Pop soon.
Oh, and that points us back to Eladin. Everything kind of does, doesn't it? Alright, let's get down to the surface then. Hello, Drac. Do we have dialogue for you?
What's on your mind?
So Reyes was the charlatan.
I don't like anyone I can't trust, but he seemed to be doing some good. Kind of a shame.
Don't have too much fun.
We'll see.
I still love that when that happened, I was like, they're like, there's someone in the charlatan. No one knows who he is. I'm like, it's that guy right there. And then I was right. That leaves me happy. What's that one over there? Oh, the bootleggers. Damn, there's a lot going on around here. Oh, there's no other way out. This is the only exit of this room. Whoops. That guy may have stolen my hair, but I got significantly lucky with the eye scar, because he was blinded one eye, and I've just got a side of the eye scar. So there's that, at least. Dora. Oops.
Still can't believe it. Reyes Vidal. Did you know him?
Something smells tasty.
The man had skills, but damn.
Trying to find it. Every direction I run in doesn't make the thing fill up more.
Wait, where's Tara?
Oh, that one
Don't
a
really
little
want
further.
one.
Nope.
Thanks.
Why does it keep turning off all of a sudden? Normally it goes higher and then higher and then it goes lower, and then when it goes lower to 0, then it disappears. This one's just disappearing abruptly.
But
Like the moment I walk over this boundary, it goes from 2 to disappearing. That's actually not. That's not how hotter and colder
Watch
navigation's
yourself around
supposed to work. Can you tell me where it is?
You're not on Nomad guard duty?
here. No need. Words got around. Wonder how Sloan will crack down on the collective.
They humiliated her. She'll be out for blood.
At least we're in our good books. Today, anyway.
Am I supposed to read the datapad or something? Best booze in the universe has moved. Those jerks shut me down and kicked me out of Kadara Port. If you want real booze, not the wash they serve here, come to my secret stash spot if you dare. Dun dun dun. Zed. Is that what I was supposed to find? Yep. Huh. I was like rubbing right up against it and it never hit 3 bars. I wonder why. Well, just another reason for us to go running down to the surface. I imagine one of these objectives is likely going to be showing up in the actual, in the, like, slums area. Otherwise, we'd probably be pressing out. I'm still amused a bit by this place so much resembling, so much resembling the, area in Technomancer. I can't be on Kadara without thinking of Technomancer still. I should spend those points real quick while we're here. How are we doing here? Skill point 19 already? Yeah, I already have those points spent on shotguns. I'm not crazy, those are there. Get those max shields up. Weapon let-out size, could do that. Ooh, weapon weight capacity bonus. If I increase its maximum capacity, that might increase my overall effectiveness of my my biotics cooldown. I don't know. It might just mean that I can get higher capacity, which would then further reduce my stuff. Suitable effectiveness versus health regeneration, shield regeneration, and health regeneration cap. That seems worth grabbing. Weapon clip size. Let's see. That just seems like across the board, huh? Yeah, weapon clip size, weapon spare ammo, +1 to all combat power, cell capacities, which not something I use. +1 weapon loadout size and weight capacity. I'm curious about whether or not the capacity stuff affects your power recharge speeds. I may have to try to do some research about that. Let's go into my sniper rifle tree. Headshot and weak point damage. These numbers are getting higher. Yeah, now they're already up to 8% for some of these. Reduced weight of sniper rifles, nice. More spare ammo. I don't really run out of ammo, but their weight affects my biotics, which is a priority. That definitely does what I was going for, as opposed to the other one, so that's good. We have 41 points into... We already have 41 points in combat. Wow. That built up fast. As opposed to what in biotic? Wow, yeah. I already have about 1/3 as many in combat as I do in biotics. We're just leveling a lot lately. A lot of quests counting as being completed lately. So Jal has 32 points to spend, which is gargantuan. I guess I hadn't used him super recently. Still haven't done his loyalty mission, right? So he can't max that stuff out, but I'm not even quite there yet. Damage resistance. Jal takes reduced damage as long as his shields are up. Increased melee damage, no. Never go for melee damage. How often do you see these characters meleeing? Approximately never, except for maybe Drac sometimes. Weapon damage, power area of effect radius, power damage, power force. I think I want to go for power effectiveness. Let's see, Avenger Strike. That's what he does, his Deadly Strike from behind. Which is, oh, right, that's considered a melee attack. I guess that makes the melee effects a little bit more reasonable. Let's see. Sticky Grenade has a radius of 3.5. So if I create... It's already got a decent radius, but 40% would make it like... probably like 6 meters? No, 5 meters about in radius. Which is decent. The other option is more damage. I'm gonna go for damage radius. I think the most dangerous thing in this game for me is usually crowds. A single enemy is usually pretty manageable, unless it really surprises me. Damage and force of the explosion, or damage per second over time. They really... This is weird. Like, as somebody who's played games like World of Warcraft and Diablo and many other RPGs that give me really detailed explanations of quests, these ones actually kind of lack explanations sometimes. Yeah. 62 damage per second over time. Okay. For how long? For how long? What does overtime mean? Tell me what the time is. It just doesn't tell you, I don't think? Which is weird, because, like, that's pretty textbook for explanations of a skill in an RPG. Is like, it does this much damage over time for this many seconds. Straightforward. Every game does that. This one just doesn't? Like, 15% damage. This is 415 damage, so 15% damage is like... If we just round down, it's like 60 damage, basically. But this does more force. But this is damage per second of 62. If it does 2 seconds of damage, then it already does more damage than this. So it depends on how much you want the force, really. I'm going to prioritize the damage, because I already prioritized the range earlier, so I think that making the radius earlier, so I think making the damage go higher is probably the next priority. Because then you're doing a lot of damage over a large radius, which is pretty good. I just wish I knew how many seconds this thing is, because damage per second 62, like that's approximately 15 damage per second. So this really is like force versus some unknown quantity of bonus damage that is unexplained. Alright, now we have 3 different skills that are ready to go up again the moment I get his loyalty mission done, but I think we're going to level up even more before that, so I'll go ahead and go down these other trees. This is the melee thing, so we can do damage per second again. See, damage duration 5 seconds. 28 damage per second for 5 seconds. Why do other skills not explain that? I find it weird how often I look at a skill and I'll be like, yeah, I don't know all the variables here. Which is weird because there's like a giant window to explain the variables in. Jaw surprises enemies near his target, briefly reducing their damage. Alright. Making somebody do significantly less damage is not bad, and having it do a 5-meter radius is pretty neat. Or just make it do more damage. I'm gonna do this thing. Survivability. If you can demoralize a 5-meter radius of enemies, that could be a game changer at times. Neat. Get back to business then.